Hello Internet, I am the hero of Julios once again with another Dungeons & Dragons video. Just a regular D&D video for this Friday. I've been thinking a bit about a cliffhanger I left off with my regular D&D party. See, the rogue in the party likes to run off on his own and do his own things now and then, and it got me thinking about what kind of things you as the DM can do when your player runs off and goes solo. Now, granted, there's nothing wrong with a player running off and going solo so long as they don't go crazy and make the entire session about their one-off adventure. But the cliffhanger that I left with my player was he entered a room, like a bedroom kind of place, and closed the door behind him because the door was closed when he got there. However, just as the session was about to end, the door clicked and began to open. He is completely separated from the rest of the party because they are on a completely different floor of the dungeon. So, basically, I'm free to do whatever I want with this cliffhanger. I could have anything come through that door. So it got me thinking, and I've come up with 5 different things you can do when one of your players goes solo. Number 1, roll a normal encounter. That's right, treat this encounter as if the entire party was here. If you got 4 level 5s and you're, having them, fight stuff and there's a big adventure, Shambling Mound is a challenge rating 5 monster. That's a completely fair fight. This guy's off on his own. Shambling Mound finds him. Now you got a level 5 way out of his water, fighting this horrifying creature as it's trying to eat him. However, my recommendation is to not kill this player. You shouldn't punish a player for trying to be true to their character, but there are consequences to being alone in a dangerous setting. Because of this, I would say, like, if an orc warband or if the big bad evil guy showed up, have them capture this player and make him the side quest for the rest of the players to go and save. It's perfectly alright to also run a normal encounter as if the player was not entering combat. Which leads me into number 2. Introduce a new character. Let's say you have an NPC that you want the party to meet, but they've been kind of doing their own thing, they're having a lot of great roleplay moments in combat, and you don't want to spoil that, but one of your players has run off on their own. This is the perfect time to have them introduced to some shopkeeper or traveling merchant or dragon in disguise, whether it's a villain or an ally. This is a good opportunity to have a one-on-one conversation with a player, getting them to be the person that introduces this new NPC into the party. I would recommend, however, doing this when the rest of the party is still at the table, like they're players, not just the characters are still there. But when the rest of the party is there, that way you don't have to spend your time reintroducing this character. They, as the players, know who they are, so we can skip the part where the characters know who they are. Number 3, exposition. It's really simple to have the player who is off on their own stumble upon something that can let you explain a little more about the world they're in. For example, the player who ran off runs into some ruins and sees an ancient stone with carvings in a language that hopefully they know, and they can bring that information back to the rest of the party. Or as they're skulking through the brush, they overhear 2 bandits talking about how they've been tracking the party for months, and now is the time to really get him in the middle of the night, allowing him to sneak back to the party and let them know something's up. However you want to do it, exposition can be given to a single player who can then relay that information however they choose to the rest of the party. I would recommend this method in the event that you like to take your players aside for one-on-one sessions in the middle of them separating from the rest of the party. Number 4, kill them. I'm just kidding. I just needed to fill up a 5th slot for this, top 5 list thing. I didn't want to do, a lot of thinking this week. I've been a little busy with work. So, yeah, no, don't actually kill the player who ran off on his own unless you want to. I'm just kidding again. Number 5, Bring the Benny Hill theme into this. Have your character find something crazy, wacky, a giant explosion, a fireball chasing them, a gelatinous ooze coming down the hallway towards them, a cube of death, whatever you want, a hungry lion, something that this character needs to run away from, and have him make it the rest of the party's problem. I'm not doing this in a way of causing the other players to punish that soloist for running off on his own, but this is a good way of bringing the boss to the players, especially if your players haven't had a good fight in a while. I will recommend that if you go about this method, you definitely need to make this encounter worth the player's time. For example, if they're all level 2 and the ogre has shown up and he's chasing after the player, have the party defend their friend and they defeat the ogre together, but as the ogre is defeated, his gauntlets fall off his hands, and the players gain the gauntlets of ogre power. However you do it, make it worth it to the party, not just the solo player. As much as I do love individual player moments, this is a cooperative game, and you have to remember that you have a limited amount of time with these people every single week, or however often you do play this game. Because of that, I would say dedicate only maybe 1 to 3/10 of your session to solo stuff happening, because everybody came here to play. It's not a single player adventure. But however you do it, however you handle solo sessions, these are a couple ideas of just weird things or adventurous moments that can happen when someone decides to split the party. But as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. This is the Hero of Julios, Xing out.